Hi everyone, just before we get into another episode of What a Load of Bulls, we just want to give a shout out to our partners, Newcastle Car and Truck Rental. Newcastle Car and Truck Rental are a locally owned company servicing Newcastle and the Hunter. Todd, Holden and family pride themselves on being part of the local community, and you feel that when you step through their doors. It isn't a different person every time you call, it's the same people taking care of business and taking care of you. So next time you're in need of a rental, be it a truck to move, a ute for those everyday DIY jobs, or a car to get the family around on a day out, be sure to contact the team at Newcastle Car and Truck Rental by visiting www.newcastlerental.com or by calling 02 49 081 081. And don't forget to tell them DJ and Simon sent you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. 45 episodes of What a Load of Bulls, the only Bulls podcast worth listening to. You're here with myself, DJ Dilworth, and co-host Simon Little. Simon, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. That is me, Simon Little.
Welcome back, mate, for another episode. So, a couple of weeks it's been. A few things have happened. How have you been yourself anyway, mate? How's work going? Busy as?
I'm glad you've asked me about work because we don't need to go down the road of how's Bulls.
No, we're not into that yet. We'll get there.
Yeah, I know you will. I'm just anticipating. I know exactly the cogs that are ticking through your brain and your mind there. And yeah, I'm just waiting for the bombshells to be dropped. But
you don't go for the knockout punch straight away, mate.
Outside of Bulls, yeah, it's going pretty good, TJ, actually, yeah. You know, work's good, life's good, Ellie's doing well, yeah. Ness is good.
You're very nervous this episode, mate. What's wrong?
Yeah, I know I am.
Very nervous this episode.
Next question.
Yeah, moving on. We were just talking about Halley's Comet there, mate. None of us knew anything about it. That's how interested we are in science.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that type of stuff here, do we?
No. Let's talk about Bulls, DJ.
Let's talk about Bulls. Let's talk about Bulls. Right on, mate. So, a few things happening. Obviously, World Indoors was well underway. Sort of fell in between our episodes at the minute. So,
yeah.
We didn't quite get to cover it in the last episode, but we'll cover about what's happened now. So, a couple of Aussie representatives over there. I know we're not Aussie, but we are based in Aussie, and most of our listeners are Aussie, so we'll focus on that. Kelsey and Jack were over there. Kelsey Cottrell and Jack McShane. Kelsey went out in the women's quarterfinals, I believe.
To England, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was. And the mixed pairs, they went out in the quarterfinals also to England as well. England had a red hot go, mate. Both of them, like they won. They went on to win the mixed pairs. Emily Kernick and Dominic McVitie. But they both also then made their respective finals in the men's and the women's. So they had a red hot go.
Yeah.
Red hot go over there in Aberdeen. But it wasn't to be for them. Sophie McGrather got over the top of Emily in the singles final. And Jack McShane, the 19-year-old absolute superstar who can't even make the New South Wales state side, is now a world champion, mate.
Yeah. He's not even on the state side, and is a world champion.
He defeated Dominic in the final. Mate, I seen a few clips of it. Look, the surface looked fantastic. It looked really good for good bowls. Any clips that I'd seen and a few people that have talked to me about it, just like, you just knew you could draw yourself out of trouble, and some of the bowls played. Actually, the bowl Dominic played to win the mixed pairs was unbelievable. So it was had to come up on the backhand, up through his own short one to sit out Ross Owen's own one, run through himself and get 4 to win by 1 because they tied the first set. He was 3 down playing the last end, made a 4 to win by 1. That was a phenomenal bowl. Yeah, it was. But it just seemed to be suited to those people playing at that level. And Jack came out on top, man. I want first time away at a world event representing Australia. Come away with the chocolates, mate, and can't even make a New South Wales team. What do you think?
Yeah, I know that's that'll be an interesting comment to make to him and see what his reaction would be. That'll be good to get. But yeah, look, obviously we've seen him sort of rise through the ranks here and win things over here and state titles and things like that. And I've been on the wrong end of Jack McShane, to be honest. A couple of years back, state triples final, and yeah, he played some.
It was only 12 months ago, Simon. Stop trying to push it further back than it was. It was only 12 months.
I wish it was further back, but he played some bombs that day, and he also, go back further than that, he actually put me out as well in the state pairs, I think the year before that.
Which he probably won as well with Tomo.
Which he did win with Tomo that year too. So
he's got a few state titles under his belt. He's got an Australian Open pairs under his belt.
Yeah.
He's got the Aussie indoor singles under his belt, and now he's a world champion.
Man, that's unbelievable.
He
in the space of a few years.
If he's not in that New South Wales team, there's something going on.
Yeah. He's
So
potentially the next Omar from Australia.
oh, wow, that's a big call.
Yeah.
That's a big call. No, he's a superstar. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
Well, there's some good ones around that age too. Like Nathan Black's killing it, which we'll get into in a bit too when we go to the South South Australian State Championships. Sorry, I'm reading this. The South Australian State Championships. But yeah, mate, phenomenal achievement for young Jack. And you spoke to him just before he went over, and he was pretty keen to get over, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, said he was super busy. Obviously, he's got a lot going on bowls wise at the moment. He's pretty keen to come on and have a chat with us. We just have to tie him down. He's obviously playing a lot of things, so we'll get on to him and hopefully get a chat with him pretty soon. He was definitely keen to get over there and keen to experience. Obviously playing in a world championship kind of event. Yeah.
Interesting this year, mate. So we had a chat with Razor not long after he went to it last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Won the mixed pairs. They're obviously listening to the podcast, mate, because they went from a 1-end tiebreak to a 3-end tiebreak from what I can see. Not quite as cutthroat, still brutal, obviously, at that level, but luckily for Jack, he didn't have to go through that other than in the quarter-final against Ireland. I think it was Andrew Cow was over representing Ireland at the time.
Definitely 3 ends is way better. Imagine 1-end shootout for a world title. Anything could happen on 1 end. I was wasting there.
Especially if there's a wick or something somewhere around it, mate. That's just dynamite. But yeah.
You'd be
Speaking of Ireland, mate. Speaking of Ireland, they've announced some squads this week. You didn't make it.
Oh.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, did you?
Neither did I. Well, we were told that they don't look out in Australia, but Guy Kelly made it. So, obviously, he's doing something right. We're not. Anyway, moving on. As we said, mate, we're going to talk about... We've done New South Wales Championships. We've done Victoria Championships. Now we're going to go down to South Australia for a bit.
Cool, let's say.
I've never actually been to. Have you been to the state at all?
Nope, not yet.
Nope.
It's on the bucket list, but I haven't made it that far.
Yeah, we'll have to try and get down there at some point. But yeah, mate, they've played their state championships. They've also played their state champions. So we'll have a quick look at that. So in the singles events, the women's went to Yvonne Kelly, and the men's went to Jonathan. I'm going to say Voigt, but I've been stitched up here. You've given me the names again that I can't pronounce, but we'll go with Jonathan Voigt. Voigt.
You're best at that, right?
Jonathan, if you're listening or anyone that related and it's not right, I apologize. Email simon@thebullsacademy.com and you can correct that for us. Moving on to the pairs, and Raylene Hateman and Vicky Arbin won the women's pairs. And then Jonathan was back again with Nathan Black to win the men's pairs. There's 2 for Jonathan. Next one we've got here is women's fours. Tamsin Jenke, Hanneke Booth, Michaela Massey, and Sheridan Bodner. Well done, girls. 4 young ones there doing well and winning the state title. And then Jonathan's back again with Nathan and also with Matthew Rossi and Will McFarlane to win the men's fours.
Yep.
On to the women's triples. So Karen Gatto, Debbie Dennis, and Jackie Field. So I don't think there's any double ups there in the women at all. But then we move into the men's. And Nathan's back again. And he's brought Will McFarlane with him this time. But then he's teamed up with Josh Studham to win the triples down there in South Australia. So we're on to them.
Right.
Yep. And finally, the mixed pairs. John Pengali and Jackie Hayes. So all them winners will be heading to Tasmania later in the year. I think November time they're heading down to Tasmania for the Nationals. Also, mate, they did have their champions, but not like Victoria where they run it all together. These were held a bit separately. So well done there to Katrina Green and a fellow who I'm not too sure you'll be familiar with, mate, Max Kleining.
Max
Heard of that name before?
I have indeed. I've had the pleasure of playing on the same team as Max Kleining.
Oh, geez, you love a name drop, don't you?
Wasn't any representative team. It was just Taren Point. Yeah, for his services. DJ.
Max he's an absolute gun, mate. Played BPL obviously as well for Adelaide back in the day.
Top bloke.
Oh yeah, he is. He's well renowned around the trash room. Top bloke. So well done to Max. He's taken a bit of time away from the Bulls. He's not into it. Obviously with family commitments and stuff, he's not into it as much as he used to be. But by all means, mate, good to see he's still got it at the top level.
He's still got it, and yeah, it just goes to show you can take a break out from balls and sort of come back and always keep winning.
Yeah. Maybe you should take note of that, but we'll get there. Talking of champions, mate, and the New South Wales champion pairs has been had. Singles hasn't been had yet. We're patiently waiting for that one, aren't we?
We are patiently waiting, yes.
2nd of June it kicks off. We'll keep you posted on that one, folks. One of us is in it, and he's not talking at the minute. So, New South Wales champion pairs. Men's pairs went to Corey Wedlock and Aaron Tees. I'm going to put Simon on the spot. Who the women's go to? Jessica Tell and Selena Goddard. I mean, come on, we're doing a bowls podcast here.
I did know that actually.
Yeah. So we didn't look at it before, and I'll just put you on the spot. But yeah, that's it. So well done to all them. Selena obviously went down and kicked it in the Victorian Open, and now she's come back up to New South Wales and going, yeah, I'll just do it up here as well.
Keep winning.
So maybe someone would want to recruit her for a platinum pennant side. Maybe some team that's maybe down around the bottom of the table. Don't know. Anyway, moving on. New South Wales champions, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Big talking point. Big talk. Every year it's a big talking point because since the unification, they've changed the format and how it's run. You don't have regional qualifiers anymore. You win your club event, you go straight to the state finals.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a massive, massive week. It's a huge week, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of entries.
I know our guys went down. They played at Carlingford on the Monday. No, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. It was Guildford. That's Maryland's other club, isn't it? Guildford.
Yeah.
They played Guildford on the Monday. They went to Mount Lewis on the Tuesday. And then I believe they went to a third club on the Cabramatta maybe on the Wednesday. It's just all over the place, right? And then the finals were held at Maryland's.
Yeah.
So it's a massive, but there is five or six clubs down there are putting up sponsorship to host this event.
Yeah.
And the final, it's going to be down there for the next 4 or 5 years, and the finals change around with those clubs. So that's part of the reason they do it. They were obviously keen to sponsor it because of the way it is held. There's more people there in the area. Works out pretty well. Certainly, I wouldn't say it has the biggest amount of support around the place from when you talk to people. So, but, are the arguments fair? I don't know. Is it just because people don't like change, which we know in our sport is quite common? They don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was tough too with the weather this time as well. It was just raining solid, and all our guys and girls got absolutely drenched. So they did. But one of the biggest talking points I found is the amount of no-shows. And one of them happened to be on the TV rink on round one.
Round one TV game. And
I don't know their names, and I wouldn't name them anyway, but it's very interesting. And then people that jump on that, the negative ones towards the competition jump on that straight away, going, watch what you get for holding it all in the one place. People don't want to travel and go to it.
Yeah.
They've just not come because they don't want to play in it. Well, fair enough, but no harm. They have to enter the event. It's not a case of as soon as you win your club championship, you're entered.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Someone from your club or yourself has to enter that.
Yeah.
And then pay an entry fee, Simon, which you don't get back for not showing up.
Yeah.
So it just shows, I suppose one question is it the right way to run it? Is this part of the reason why it happened? Okay. The other question is, are some of the clubs just genuinely not interested in it? Are some of the players of maybe some of the smaller clubs whose maybe grade is highest of 4, 5, 6 type of thing, are they just not interested in it and they don't pay that much attention to what's going on and realize what's at stake there? Yeah, I just think mate, there was about 22 all up, didn't show.
22 no shows,
and it may be in and around. It's in and around that number for definite, because I was talking to someone about it, and I know the amount of rinks that were meant to be played on and the amount of rinks that actually got played on was a lot less.
Okay, yeah.
So it was. So there's definitely something going on there. But man, what you're going right? You're going to play in it in a couple of weeks in the singles. What's you? It's not a big lot for you to travel.
No.
All right, we're going to dissect your group in a couple of weeks' time. We'll go through it, but without going too deep into it, we just found tonight one fella's got to drive 7.5 hours to play you, and the other one's got 6.5 to 7 to come and play you.
Yeah,
if not more. Right. So, what's your thoughts on it from going to play on it, mate?
Look, as you say, I think I'm pretty lucky that it's pretty close to me. It's only 45, 50 minutes drive. I think that you get a bit of everything with the way it's run currently. Moving it to anyone who wins your club event can enter the state. You're going to get those people that have aspirations that want to play against better players that will love that kind of event.
Challenge.
If they're a grade 2, 3, 4, 5, they might have aspirations to be a higher grade bowler. And this is a chance that they've done well. They've won their club event and they get to now rub shoulders with the likes of Disco and, Jack McShane, whoever it may be, that wins from the bigger Sydney clubs and Whirlers and that kind of thing. But then you will get, as you said, you might get smaller clubs and guys will go, I'm just going to travel 7 hours to get pumped in all my games and drive 7 hours back home again.
Well, your two guys won't be thinking that.
Thanks mate, for the support. You're going to get both sides of that fence. I think you will get, and it's where you get the majority of people falling. It is a bit different for the so-called bigger clubs. It doesn't matter what way it's run because the guys will compete and they want to win a state title.
Yeah.
Champion of Champions, you can go even further. You know, it goes further to national, and then I think further on than that as well.
Yeah.
So you are going to have the likes of Aaron Wilson that wants to, you know, win a national title that way. It's where the majority is going to fall. Do you go with, is it an elite competition or is it a competition that's run for the masses to encourage more people to play in your club singles and your club pairs? What's the competition for? What's the goal? Is it to improve, make it more of an elite competition, or is it just to run to get more people on the greens and playing in higher competitions? That's the question.
It's always the battle. Trying to find that happy.
It is a battle, and it's finding a happy medium. You're always going to have clubs that won't enter it, people that won't come and play. But I think the no-shows, I think that's pretty poor. If you can't play and you don't want to play, as you say, you have the option of not playing in it. Well, that's just don't enter it.
That's the part that got me. Like, people jumped on it straight away and just started sort of criticizing Bowls New South Wales about it. This is what happens when it's played this way.
That's not their fault.
It's got the responsibility.
Yeah.
They've put the entry in. So while the club's not communicating with them and telling them, right, your entry's in, you're expected to go, or are they not telling the clubs, no, I don't want to go? Like, I know from my perspective. So Brody, Simon, Janine, and Chris, they went down in the pairs. Simon's also won the singles. He's elected not to go. Now, that's because Simon doesn't work in bowls. So Simon is, and he's got a young family, so Simon has to take his own annual leave to go to those events. So he elected to have a go at the pairs and then not the singles this year around. Whereas last year he did it the other way around, ended up having to pull out of the singles because of changing jobs or whatever. But you know, that's the choice that they are able to make. So what's going on with the no-shows? Like, make the decision and have the courtesy to call and say, I'm not going to make it. You know, because I know, like, I had already put an entry in for Jessica, and both our singles representatives aren't going this time around.
Okay.
All right. But Bowls New South Wales were able to go, well, there's your refund then. That's fine. All good. At least you let us know. And it's before the draw's out too, so you can actually, you don't have to affect the draw, but it stuffs everyone around then. Like, for instance, if one of those guys that you're playing decides that he's not coming and doesn't tell anyone, suddenly your draw changes. Instead of having, like, I know you're in a group of 3.
Yeah. All
right. But say if you're in a group of 4 and one person doesn't show, it goes to a group of 3 format, but it changes what you're expecting to have when you go down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of the guys and our guys section didn't show up. One of the clubs didn't show as well. Like, it's just it's a problem within the sport, but that's not Bowls New South Wales' problem, I don't think.
No.
I don't think it's their problem. Like, it's been this way for a couple of years now. It's not the first year of it.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? This is the way it is, folks. If you win your club championship, you are entitled to enter the state championship. You don't have to. If you don't want to go, don't go. But if you have aspirations to go further, then you should go down and play that. If you have aspirations to perhaps get an opportunity that you jag a draw against Aaron Tees and Corey Wedlock, and you get to play on the TV rink, which some people don't always get the chance to do, then that's maybe your aspiration. You want to go and do that, you know? It's just, like I said, it's just finding that happy medium. Sticking with Champion of Champions, right? So the way the Champion of Champions works is you enter at your club, right? And then you become your club champion. Then you go to your state, you become your state champion. Then you go to the nationals, you become the national champion. And then you have the chance to go on and play for a world title.
Yep.
You know, so you have to argue then that, like, we talked this last year. I'm pretty sure I threw this on you last year. There's not as much prestige in that as what there is in the state championships. Why is that? I can't get my head around them. To me, that's nearly, if you look at the two of them on paper, that should nearly be more prestigious, shouldn't it?
You'd think so, because it goes to a world title.
Like, you have the chance to go play for Australia. It's, you know, some people don't have those aspirations. That's fair enough. Then go ahead, play your club championship, and then don't nominate to go further. Oh, but then they're going to hold people back that want to go further. Well, no, they're not holding them back. The person held them back by not beating them. You can't go if you're not the club champion. If If you want to go to that, become your club champion, then go to that. I just think it was a really bad look. It was a really bad look. And as I said, people are straight away jumping, going. And don't get me wrong, we will jump on certain things from the association when we don't agree with it. We have done.
Yeah.
But you gotta toe the line as well and realize, well, hang on a second, that's not their issue there. They haven't caused 22 sides or whatever not to show. It's got to be looked at. It's obviously got to be looked at. The calendar is a nightmare. Next year's calendar is an absolute disaster. In all honesty, from an administrative point of view, this is the hardest calendar I'm going to have to work with. Now, part of that is our issue too, because we're going to the renovation side of things, so we're only going to have one green to work off. But I got our regional calendar through the other week. Okay, so World Bulls set a calendar, Bulls Australia set a calendar, New South Wales set a calendar, then the region sets a calendar. Okay,
then DJ sets a calendar.
Then DJ gets a calendar.
You're the last of the pile, mate, aren't you? Yeah.
So from the 1st of July to the 30th of November, there are 2 weekends I can run a club championship that will not be affected by anything else.
2 weekends only.
2 weekends in my calendar from the 1st of July to the end of November, where I can run a club championship and not be affected by anything other than the weather.
Sounds like an administrator's headache.
Don't get me started. Is what it is. So we'll have to manage that and we'll balance that. But it's just, like I said, it comes back to the calendar too. So then now instead of, I just think with the champions, it has to be a regional area qualifier. It would definitely cut down on the amount of days needed. Like 5 days down there, mate.
Yeah. So for instance, exactly what your guys have sort of decided that they're not playing in the singles because they have to take obviously time off work and that. I'm having to take basically a full week off work to play in champions, but I'm only going to play guaranteed 2 games, which is
if everybody shows.
If everyone shows, yeah. Which is on the Monday. So really, if I get beat, I've took days off that I'm not required to, but I have to take a full week off, in order to, go and play in it.
Yeah. So, and then the guys that are traveling, what do they do with their accommodation?
Yeah,
because I know if I'm booking accommodations in it, not every place is willing to let you book a week and only use what you use. They want you to book a week and you got to pay for the week.
You got to pay for that week.
So what are you meant to do if we get washed out or you get knocked out straight away or something else happens?
Yeah,
so it's a logistical nightmare.
People coming down that's more than an hour or 2 hours drive away. They're looking at accommodation, staying, and that issue is definitely something that comes up. Maybe that's why there's a lot of dropouts. Maybe that's why it's not taken up by all clubs. But as you say, if you go back to your regional qualifiers, then it's another event then in your region that they have to squeeze into the calendar. You're just sort of moving it from one place to the other. You're sort of pushing that onto the regions.
But at least it's only locally.
True, it's only locally.
And then you get your winner and then they make the decision whether they go or not. But then I suppose then you could still have forfeits and you're only meant to have 16 people. I don't know. Look, there's if spots, maybes, pros, cons for everything.
Yeah.
I just think it's something that needs to be looked at. But, I've also said plenty of times too, and I believe it, that if you really firmly believe this is the way to go, just stick with it. Eventually people stop whinging. And the numbers are obviously there too, mate. Or clubs wouldn't be willing to sponsor it. They wouldn't be willing to run it. So the numbers, I know, yeah, people haven't shown, but that's on them people. That's not on the association, like we said a few times.
Yeah.
But it's obviously somewhat supported because the numbers are there. At least you don't have to worry about accommodation. For those that are tuning in too, Simon's got 45 to 50 minutes to drive. That is roughly about 5 miles or 8 kilometres, mate. in Sydney traffic, yeah. Probably be quicker getting on my electric bike and going, mate. See who would.
The bowls won't fit, mate.
Sticking with New South Wales, mate. A couple of jobs advertised. Anything tempting you?
Did see that. No, I'll stick to my surveying. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'll stick to a nice scenic surveying.
Yeah, you're not taking a pay cut, are you? General manager, and then what was the other one? Was office operations manager as well, or manager of office and operations?
There was another one came out. So look, interesting. Both of us have received a few, comments and reactions from people out there. We've definitely received, both of us have, and yeah, we've been chatting about it off air. And
Question: have you had any positive comments about it?
no.
Nah, not me.
Yourself?
Nah, not one.
Yeah.
Not one.
General manager. I
If you
don't
want to go, I'll go. If you,
I know.
I'll give you first bite of this cherry.
Some of the comments, like straight away, as you said, the negative comments straight away about the amount of money that Bulls at New South Wales are going to pay for definitely the general manager role. I think it's a positive thing for our sport that we're paying that amount of money for that type of role. I think that in order to get higher caliber of employee, that we need to be paying maybe over the odds of what that type of role is, because we have to attract better staff and employment to our sport to help it run better. If we're not paying the over and above what somebody that with those skills and talents to do that role, they might go to Cricket Australia, they might go to Tennis Australia, they might go to other sports.
It's happened in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to be paying top dollar in order to get really good employees that are going to help grow our sport and bring new initiatives, new ideas, whatever it may be. Okay, they might get batted back, but at least if there's someone there trying, I think they need to be paying those higher wages. And yeah, that was definitely one comment that was made to me by numerous people, not just one or two, about the amount of money that they're paying for this role. But I would definitely endorse if they have the cash and they have the money in order to pay that, bring it on.
You're not going to sit there and tell me that they don't have the cash and they're advertising at that. That's the thing that was getting me.
Yeah,
it is a shock and awe for a lot of people, because like you look at financial statements over the last few years, they're paying, as you said, they're paying pretty good wages. I'm just saying, it might not even be top dollar, Simon. Like it's working in Sydney. You know what that's like.
Yeah, you're working in the city.
It's not advertising for a lot of people, but. Like we said before, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. So they're opening themselves up to get people into the role. Not necessarily even bowlers. You don't need to be a bowls player. They have Tim's not. He's the CEO.
Yeah.
They've won a different route there. Like we had CEOs in the past that played bowls. We had everyone that worked in the office. They all played bowls. Bowls is a small world.
Yeah.
You got to open ourselves up a bit. And, that's where Tim's then come in. So this general manager doesn't have to be within the bowls world. I know I've had it. Like, there's a few bowlers who are interested in it, and a few people sort of message me about it. And then, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but it's definitely a lot more than what people are used to. But like I said to you, like some of the people carrying on about the affiliation fees and entry fees and stuff. Yeah, we got to fund the sport somehow, but we're also funding the sport a lot better behind the scenes with sponsorships.
Yeah,
because that's bread and butter there, and I honestly don't believe I haven't looked at it. I'm happy for someone to email Simon there and prove me wrong again, but like trajectory wise of the wages going up within the association, like it's not a parallel. Like, there's a spike, okay, but there's not a spike in our affiliation fees all of a sudden.
No.
I can't say I've paid a lot of detail into our ones over the last. I know there's a rise every year, but there's inflation every year, whether you like it or not. It's just one of those things. Like I said, I'm happy to sit and see how it pans out, but I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and say it's a negative all of a sudden. It's just it's different to what they've been doing. And you need different at times. You need to look at a different direction and a different point of view and move on. But you can't tell me that they're just splashing cash around for the sake of it.
Nah. I can't see that. Like,
there has been, obviously, we can't talk about this too much. We don't get into too much trouble, and it is people's livelihoods as well at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But like, you cannot tell me that they're just sitting in the office and they're going, let's just hire someone for that amount of money. They've clearly looked and gone, we've got a gap here. This is the direction we want to go. We've got a gap here. What type of person do we need to fill this role? There's a job description. Let's see what we can go and get. This is what we reckon it'll cost to do that.
Yeah.
And like, there's been a lot of changes since unification. All right. And like, we weren't going bad before. But they've made decisions to go different directions. And yeah, they're trying to improve the sport. They're not just spending money for the sake of it. You're not going to convince me of that. Like I've said, you've had emails saying that I carry on about Bulls New South Wales too much and negatively. Like, you can't tell me that I'm like, so I'm not just backing them for the sake of it. Suddenly I got a commentary job last week and I'm backing them. It's not a case of that. I'm calling it how I see it. You cannot convince me that they're just throwing money at something, throwing money at the wall over this. There's got to be a reason behind it. They've got to know that they can fund it.
I reckon that we should take the sort of view that we're actually our association, as in Bulls New South Wales, is in a position to actually offer that kind of role and offer that kind of money. Look at the many other associations and administrations around the world in bowls that don't have anywhere near that amount of cash. They don't employ anybody. They're all volunteers. But yet here we are an association, not even a national association. We're a regional association that can offer full-time paid roles, not just one, but multiple within our sport.
Yeah.
And run our sport with people that are paid professionally to do this. That's a real positive.
And with a transition plan, i.e., like it's written in that job description that if you will be basically trained up to run the association if someone else moves on to a better thing.
Yeah.
So they seem to be doing the right thing. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that people don't agree with.
Maybe is it that maybe just need to be a bit more clearer on, for instance, what does it take to run Champion of Champions for a week? What is the cost of that to association? Is it something that they need to put out, like, this is much it costs to run that? So this week we've run so many live streams, we've run at so many clubs, we've brought in this amount of money, we've paid out this amount of money. Do we need to go down that route in order to get people on side with the association? Because there's always the negativity about membership fees, affiliation fees, year in, year out. I've heard it every single year since I've been here in Australia, and I'm quite sick of it, to be honest. I'd love that attitude to change. Like, I hear from other dads in work about their kids playing in other sports, and it costs ridiculous amount of money to play soccer, to play netball for not the whole year, but for a season, which doesn't run the whole year.
Yep.
And you look, and I hear what they're paying for their kids to go and play sport, and then you hear what bowlers have to pay, and it's minimal compared to what kids have to pay, what adults have to pay to play bowls. It's a completely different story.
Yeah.
So it really does irk me a bit when you hear it year in, year out about affiliation fees and blah, blah, blah. Our sport is really lucky that we don't have to pay too much.
Yeah. 100%. Get a decent set of balls for $750. How much for a decent set of golf clubs?
Oh.
And then balls on top of that, and then membership fees on top of that. It's definitely a cheaper sport to be able to run. To get back to you on the clarity thing. Yeah, you can do that. You can show people but why do people want to know exactly where that money's going? Do they think that there's stealing being done somewhere? Do they really think that the sport's not being run the way it needs to be? I'm like, yeah, some people do. All right, and there's always going to be questions. You can't appease everybody. All right, like I was when it was sent to me, I went, whoa. Where does this come from? You know what I mean? Because what we're used to, it's something different. Let's see how it goes. It's either right or it's wrong. Like, well, I don't know why. I don't know why we need to know. And is it a case of me that, like, I don't think they're hiding anything. Like, there's financial statements that are released.
Look at Daniel.
Yeah. People want to itemize it a bit better. What do they want? Are the people? Is it just because the five guys talking about it at the table of knowledge down in whatever bowling club haven't got the financial statement in front of them, or someone telling them this is what it is? This is why they don't know where it is. They haven't gone looking for it.
Maybe it just
there's just certain decisions like that. I think like fair enough if they make a rule decision that we all don't agree with on pennant gradings or something. Fair enough. Like everyone's entitled to talk about that. But when it comes to finances and stuff, like there's people in higher positions that understand a bit better.
Yeah,
like, jeez. I don't think it's come out without the board's approval, and the board's voted in by the members. It's just like, I don't know. Like, yeah, as you said, I got a couple of comments. You got a couple. You sent me a couple of yours. I just looked at it and thought, well, why are we bothering with that? Like, let's see how it goes. They're trying to do something. Maybe it might improve the sport. How about you just relax and go, well, maybe this might be a good thing for once, and see how it takes us.
Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see.
Speaking of good things, man, platinum pennant. Yeah, we talk about that now.
We can if you wish.
You're not going to cut this part out?
No, I won't cut it out now.
Promise? I'm not gonna be that bad.
Hit me.
I'm not gonna be that. Looks like a few people have through the season. Repeatedly. Anyway, if you can't tell already, Taren Point haven't improved on their position from last time we talked. You did for a round, didn't you?
We did for one round, yes.
Yeah. You did for one round. You've got a win on the board. You've got 7.5. Is it? Yep. 7.5 rinks, that is. Sorry. Let me just move this camera the way. You got 14.5 points out of 8 rounds, man. 1 win, 7 losses. You're sitting bottom of the ladder.
Yep.
Okay. Now, it's a bit brighter for you on a personal side if you look at the player ladder. You're 4 from 4. You and Chris had a pretty good weekend last weekend.
We did, yeah.
It's certainly been a battle for Taren Point this year, man, hasn't it?
It has been an epic battle, to be honest. When you're down at the bottom, struggling for wins, it gets harder and harder week in, week out to try and get that win. Yeah. We managed to get a win and then backed it up with a defeat after that. So we didn't get any momentum whatsoever from that win. But I guess look, take the positives. We've still got a few games to go. Who knows what happens? We are playing one of the teams that's down there with us.
You're playing Mount Lewis, who are just above you on the ladder. Who are what are they? They are 1.5 ahead of you.
Yep,
sound about right.
Friday night's game. Look, we get a win there. We're going to jump up a position, and we're probably hoping then that one more win out of the last 2 could maybe get us up out of that bottom 2 spot. Hoping that the teams down there don't win the last few games.
Well, that's it too. So you're looking at your running. You've got Mount Lewis, as you said, away on Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay. You're then at home against St. John's Park.
Yep.
Now, in your position, and normally hearing St. John's Park are coming, you'd probably fear that a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much this time around. Looks like not that I'm trying to fire them up or anything, but I already did that by saying they're not going to make top 5 before the season even started. But they're only on 28.5 points, mate. They're only 1 win and a draw better off than you.
Yep.
So who have the Saints got left? The Saints have got Carlingford, yourself, and Belrose. So on paper, a bit of an easier job, but they haven't had a good season either. And then you play Raymond Terrace in your last game. Now it's a Raymond Terrace home game, but you don't have to travel to the hangar because all that round 11 games are being played at Cabra.
It's all at Cabra.
That probably makes it a little bit. Less stressful for you?
Less stressful, definitely. Because if we have to go up to Raymond Terrace to play, you'd definitely not be banking on any points whatsoever going up there.
Well, almost, because it is brutal up there. But if you look at them, they are in top 5 at the minute, but they are Engadine have sort of slipped from their good start. Mm-hmm. But Raymond Terrace will be battling to make sure that they not only keep in top 5, they could be fighting for top 2, 3, even minor premiers by that stage. They've got a big game on Friday night against East Maitland.
Yeah.
Who are going well at home. They've played 8 games, won 6, lost 2, but the 6 that they've won have all been at home. They've now got to go to Raymond Terrace. They've now got to go to Raymond Terrace, and then Raymond Terrace have got Cabramatta coming up as well. So they've got to be looking at those 2 games as chances. And then they've got, like I said, you guys last stop down at Cabramatta. So Raymond Terrace will be pushing hard to even chase down a minor premiership there. So look, it's all interesting in the Platinum Pen at the minute, mate. So if we have a look, we'll not dwell on Taren Point too much, man. I don't want to make you cry. You're already. I'm trying not to get any takes cut out this week. Warilla, top of the tree, undefeated with 2 draws, mate. They drew last week with Wenty. Wenty are making a real go of it this year, so they are. So they're top of the table, 65 points, only half a point ahead of Maryland's Magic, who have a game in hand against Carlingford now. I'm not confident enough to say when that game's going to be played. Have you heard anything from being within? Do you know when that's going to be played? I've heard whispers of maybe a midweek game. I've heard whispers of other things. There's a spare weekend, isn't there, between round 10 and 11?
I think it's the 17th and 18th weekend. Is kind of like a spare weekend. So one of our games was potentially going to get washed out. Yeah. I think it was the Engadine game. So the talk was that we were allowed to play it over that weekend, the 17th and 18th. So I think that'll probably be when that game will be played, Maryland's game. Yeah,
cool. So they're half a point behind. They've got a game in hand. So unless they go down to Carlingford, who are 10th on the ladder, 10-0, they're going to take the lead from Wirral. You've got East Maitland on 57, Cabramatta on 55, and Raymond Terrace on 47. Got to say, Raymond Terrace will be looking at that chance on Friday night to go, we can get 10 here. And all of a sudden you're level with the team in third. Shots difference is only 1 at the minute, so they'll probably jump. If they win that game, they'll jump up on shot difference too. Engadine, like I said, mate, started off like a house on fire. Fell away a bit, but they don't have a bad draw. They've got Warilla at home. Yeah. Then they've got Belrose and Mount Lewis, who are languishing down there with you.
They're down there with us, yep. So like they've got a fairly good run in, really, in getting to try and.
So they've still got a chance of making that top 5. And once you get the top 5, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
The finals will be an interesting one. Obviously, Minor Premiers gets the first round off.
Mm-hmm.
2 and 3 play off, but you get 2 bites of the cherry. So you do. So if you have the winner of 2 and 3 will play Warilla, with the winner of that then going straight to the grand final. The loser will play the winner of 4 and 5, with 5 being eliminated. It certainly makes for some interesting reading. Wendy may pushing hard, like 35.5 points after 8 rounds. 3 wins, a draw, and 4. So they recruited pretty well. Obviously, it looks like Kane Nelson's been going pretty well from what I can see with them.
Yeah, they've got the 2 Nelson brothers playing, and yeah, Kane's been going really well. You look on the player ladder, and he's up
just
there.
Look at the player ladder now. Maybe he's 6 from 2. So he is with his rink of Corey Daly and Franklin Fong. Looks like Franklin's missed the game somewhere down the lines there, though. Franklin's 6 and 1 loss. So the Franklin Fong effect, what a guy. But nobody undefeated anymore. Every rink has suffered a loss. The top of the player ladders there's Harley McDonald, Cal Johannes, Aaron Teagues, and Des Khan. They've got 7 wins, 1 loss, plus 61. So they must have just lost recently because I think they were undefeated.
They were undefeated.
Must have just lost last weekend, yeah.
The last round or so. Yep.
Well, yeah, plenty of movement to come up in the last couple of rounds. So you will play a doubleheader this weekend coming, and then you'll have a bit of a break, and then like I said, round 11 it will be held on Thursday night, isn't it?
Thursday night, yeah, because
everything all clubs at Cabra,
all clubs. So, yep, if you're free in around Sydney area, want to come watch some bowls, I would. There's going to be plenty of bowls on display that Thursday at Cabramatta. Get yourselves over, and yeah, you'll see the top players in the state playing.
On Taren Point. In round 11, there's no live stream listed for round 11. I wonder, are they waiting to see which games matter?
Yeah,
because I think last year there might have been one listed that didn't actually matter as much. So I would say Raymond Terrace and Taren Point won't be on. But you never know. We'll wait and see, man. Never know. If I go well on Friday night, I might get another call up for Columbia. That'd be nice.
How did that go?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. Me and Jason's been, we've established a relationship over the last 18 months or so. It's pretty good to talk to as well. And yeah, we see things pretty similar. So it was good to go down there Sunday morning and just sit and watch a game. And it was good too. Like East Maitland got off to an early lead, and when you're playing them at home, you don't want them to get off to an early lead because they're front runners. Like if they get off to start, the confidence gets up, tails get up, chest get up. They think they're world champions and away they go. Cardiff did claw it back to within 2, pretty late on. But then, I think it was a stage. I think it was a 5 or 4, and big Kevy Anderson got an unlucky 3, man. All four went up cheering because he played a bomb, and then I think his balls just fell onto the jack or something's just moved the jack, and he ended up going 3 down. It's just brutal part of our game. So
I have to give big Kev a shout out. He always asked me about the podcast when we played against Calling for the other night. He always asked me, "How's it, the old podcast man?" That's what he shouts across the green to the old podcast man.
He gave me a good shout on Sunday too. It was pretty quiet over there because as we've talked about, I wouldn't say I'm very well liked over there, so it was pretty quiet around the point. But Kevy in the middle of the green on the roll up, "Hey DJ," yeah, drawing attention. Nah, mate, I said it on comedy too. Top player, top fella, very good administrator. Not on my level, but very good administrator, Kevy.
Yep.
He's just good for the game. So he is, and it's just those type of characters that you need in the game. He's good for the game, so it's good to see him. And Carlingford making a couple of changes overnight too. I think a couple of players showed up and didn't even know where they were playing at one point. But obviously, but they were doing it to try and they went to Raymond Terrace the night before. Yeah, you know what that's like.
Yeah,
like they're gonna do unspeakable things to people up there. Like it's just the way it is. I heard a stat on the weekend. I don't think one of their skippers on a particular rink has lost in 12 years.
12 years.
12 years is what I heard on the weekend. It is a fortress up there. It is a surface unlike any other.
12 years.
12 years has not lost on that rink.
Wow.
That's I can't confirm nor deny it, but I was told it on the weekend. So yeah, I'll be there Friday night again, mate. Oh well, should be. asked Billy today when I was talking to him, but I think we both agreed we'll wait until the podcast comes out on Thursday to see whether I get invited back or not.
Get in or not.
Yeah.
It's all good. We're supporting Bulls New South Wales this week. It's all good.
I wouldn't say supporting. We're just not listening to the negativity as such at times. But yeah, all interesting things happening. It's probably it for Platinum Pennant, mate. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, mate. You're staring down the barrel of relegation here.
Yeah, it's a bit of. We definitely are, and it's going to be a mammoth effort.
Is there any talk of it? Is there any player? Have you mentioned it in team chats? Have you?
Yeah. I think the last game, the game before, we definitely mentioned it in the team talk about relegation, and our Grade 2 side actually won the regional at the weekend as well. So they're going to state finals for Grade 2. So imagine if our Grade 2 side managed to get promoted into Grade 1 and our Platinum Pennant side got relegated from Platinum.
You stole my thunder, mate. I had that lined up. Yeah, no. Trust me, mate. I had that ready to go. That's why I sort of dwelled on this. That is a real possibility for you, isn't it?
That is a real possibility, and that was talked about in one of the team talks. Didn't work because we got beat, but they definitely wanted to make everyone aware of it, because I do think that over the first few games, until that sort of ladder came out, and then I seen some comments too on Facebook about, because the bottom two teams there was a line put above them, and I don't think a lot of people realised that there was going to be relegation this year.
Yeah.
And there was definitely comments on Facebook, people like, oh, what's the line for? Why the bottom two? Clubs have paid in to get into this, blah, blah, blah. But there is relegation this year, provided that there's two teams that want to come into the competition, then, two teams will drop out. It's interesting times at Taren Point, I will say that. But look, all of us, every single player that's going to be on the team and taken to the green, will give it their all to get as many wins as we can and hopefully pull ourselves out of the predicament we are in. Anything can happen in sport, and it's not over till the last game, the last ball's played, so we'll be fighting all the way to get out.
Yeah, especially with the format, man. Make 10 points up for grabs every game. If you can get all three rinks up. You're only, you're 10 points behind 9th and only 14 points behind 8th, which is St. John's Park. Oh, imagine that. Oh, I wouldn't want to be near Anthony Cawley if they dropped down. Oh, he's already not talking to me. Yes. But you see 14.5 points, 30 up for grabs.
Yeah.
He's got to be targeting something. So even just 10th spot's the golden number there, because that means you can't go down. So that's what, 8.5 away from you?
Yeah.
7.5? Yep, 7.5. So he's got to be targeting that. Carlingford, who I'd tipped to be bottom of the ladder. Proved me wrong. Belrose just above them. They are just above them now, but I didn't expect Mount Lewis and Taren Point to be underneath them at this stage. So
look, I hope that over the next 3 games we got left to play, we need to win 2 out of 3 to give ourselves a chance, and hope that some other results go our way. We win 3 from 3. I'd say that would probably get us safe. If we were to win all 3. But
you're laughing. I haven't even got a chance to look at this game right now. So you're Mount Lewis, St. John's Park, and Raymond Terrace. All right. If you go 3 from 3,
bear in mind we've only been able to win 1 out of 8. But
if you can go 3 from 3 in the last 3 rounds, yeah, you can be lead. You can be the lead podcaster on this for the next 5 episodes. I'll let you tell me what to say.
Okay.
Yeah. If you just go 3 from 3.
Okay.
We nearly closed the podcast now if he's went 3 from 3, because you're a miracle worker if that happens. Just trying to fire your boys on me. That's all right. Just play that back to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's going to be a task, man. Like the Mount Lewis game, you got to target, because obviously they're your nearest rebels. You got to jump over them. St. John's Park are wounded, so if you're going to get them, it's at this point. So yeah, because I don't think they can make playoffs. So I really don't think they can make playoffs from where they're sitting at the minute. Yeah, no, they are. Yeah, they're nearly 20 points behind already. So they are. So I don't think St. John's are going to make the playoffs. So what are they playing for? Just to try to stay up? But so that's who you've got. And then Raymond Terrace, who are going to be fighting pretty hard. If you can get over that one, mate, well bloody done to you.
Yeah, look, I think we've had some really good performances, but just not sort of continuing the momentum. We'll have a good period throughout the game, maybe a first third, last third, but we just can't sustain it for a full 63 ends across the board. And I think we've had some good performances against the teams that are up at the top. Like, we've sort of run teams really close that you would expect to run us over.
Yeah.
And just falling short, on a couple of rinks here or there, and that's the fine margins. And we've definitely spoke about, which I think from playing in it, that the field is a lot more even this year compared to last year.
You think so?
Definitely, the quality of players that are playing across all the teams. There's not such a big divide between what would be seen as the top sort of 4 or 5 teams. I think we've seen that in some of the results. You look at Wenty, that they wouldn't have been a team that that we would have said at the start that they're going to be up there.
No, well, I'll say I can't remember for definitely, but I know I definitely said there's a gap there. I reckon there's a gap of the top, even just 6 sides. I reckon at the time, there's definitely, you wouldn't have picked this at this stage.
No.
So do you reckon from playing in it that you're saying it's an even level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have people recruited well and increased their level, or have maybe some of those top sides not performing the way they should have and come back a bit?
I would think there's been better recruitment of players, and maybe some of the players that have been there maybe the last few years on teams have gotten better. That your normal, not talking about fly-ins into clubs, but your normal club bowlers that have played at grade 1 level, grade 2 level, have got better. So I think that the bottom run of players has got better, and it's brought the whole competition up rather than bringing in higher quality of fly-ins, which, we already had top quality fly-ins coming in last year or whatever it may be. I think it's that bottom level of your club bowler at those clubs has got better, which is really good for the game and really good for platinum pennants.
Sounds like an excuse to me. It's the way you're going bad, but I'll give you that one. It was pretty good. I'll let you. I'll let you have that one. It was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. So yeah, it's definitely, so it's had its impact. You reckon that you're seeing the impact of last year's success? Yeah, it's still building again this year.
Yeah,
because they're always like, I was concerned going in about how, and I've even spoken to a couple of players in this, going, has it got the same feel as last year, or is the novelty wore off? Was the question I sort of put to them, and they've all said no, it's still there. It's still, the quality's still there. The aspirations to go and win it are still there from everyone. Like, it's an event that people are marking in the calendar. You know what I mean? So that's good. So hopefully that keeps building, because it's only just going to help the sport as well.
Yeah, and hopefully that inspires other club bowlers that want to get to that level as well, and sort of help clubs bring their standard of bowls up, and it's something that other clubs want to then be involved in terms of a platinum pennant team in that competition. Yeah,
so you'd rather be playing against me in platinum next year rather than playing against me in grade 1 next year, you reckon?
Yeah, most definitely.
We'll see where that goes. So we will. Speaking of pennants, mate, everyone's getting towards the end of their regional stuff. I know that because I am flat to the mat. So state pennants will be coming up at the end of June. We've got grade 1 are through, heading to Edlong. Grade 3 are through, heading to Yamba. Grade 4 are through, heading to Wagga.
Nice.
Grade 5 play this weekend in a playoff against Curry to see who can go to, where's that one going? That's going down into Sydney. So it is, I think, maybe Mount Lewis and Cabramatta, something like that there. Grade 6 finished second in their section. And grade 7 are in a playoff now as well to hopefully go to North Haven. So it is carnage in our area at the minute. But yeah, geez, I wouldn't, if you'd offered me 2 flags before the season started, I'd have ripped your arm off. We're sitting there on 3 with a possibility of 5. It's not a red hot go, but yeah, everyone's getting to the end of that. So we'll have to start talking about state pennants in the podcast coming up, mate. It's not all about you platinum boys,
That's it.
Us regular battlers have got a chance to talk as well.
We've got our regional finals being held at Taren Point, starting this weekend coming, and over the following weekend after that as well. So all the grades.
You gonna head down and get any tips?
Yes. All the grades are heading Taren Point to play off for those regional flags, and yeah, hopefully with a chance to take it on to state championships. So that's obviously the goal. Anyone who's not in New South Wales, that's the goal for every club, is to win your regional event, and that gives you a chance then to go through and play at your state event, what grade you play. It doesn't matter if you're grade 1 to grade 7, you all get a chance to go off and play state championships, and it's the ultimate prize, isn't it, to go away with 11 other players and for a chance to win a state title for your club and come back with a state flag and hang it up in the club and go, look what we did. And yeah, I think it's one of the best team events you can play in bowls is state pennants. And if you can get away for a weekend away, and if you get a trip away somewhere nice, it's all the better. And you're away as a team, and you get to compete, 2 matches a day. And if you manage to make it through the knockout stages, it's really good. No matter what grade you play, there's always that competition and camaraderie and sort of club culture that you build, and that's what you bring back to your club then, and is that aspirations then to kick on and do more. And that's what your club definitely has been doing over the last few years, isn't it, DJ, that you've been sort of pushing and trying to make state finals and bring that winning success to your club, and it breeds more success the more that you do that, and you're seeing the fruits of your labour now, aren't you, really?
And it's breeding a really good culture too. Like we've said before, like a lot of bad apples have moved on and stuff, and we are breeding a very good culture, which is a lot easier to do when you're winning. Yeah. But we're winning because of the buy-in from everybody. You know what I mean? Everyone's looked at, right, this is what we need to do. Let's give it a go and see what we can do. And like I said, every grade bar 1 actually made playoffs. And that grade that didn't make it came runner-up in the section, which went straight through. There was no playoff after that, so they got beat by the winner. They went out hard. They ran second. Like, you can't ask much more than that. Yeah. So I couldn't be happy with how the club's gone this year, man. Plus all those people that were at state championships. Plus we won the Super League up here in Newcastle area. Plus we already had a men's team and a women's team. We went to state finals. It's a year to remember for Mailton City, and it's only going to get better too with this facility and all that coming. I think next year's going to be it's going to be a hard one next year, I reckon. I'm already looking to it. It's going to be a hard one, just with the greens are going to be cut back. They're only using one. We're going to have renovations happening and things like that there. So it's going to be a battle to keep that culture going. Yeah, but hopefully, even if there is a slight dip, hopefully it's not too big of a trough that we can get going again, and everyone will be motivated once we get this new facility up and running too. But the biggest and hardest challenge now is, like I said, now that you're up there and you're going well, sustaining that.
It is. Yeah.
You can only guide them so far. Everyone's got, like I said, buy-in. Everyone's got a buy-in, and they've got to believe in what you're doing and go with it. So, I couldn't have dreamed how well this year would have gone. And I don't mean Taren Point at the bottom of platinum. I mean how well Mailton City's going. So, I think like we've had a pretty good episode there. We've run on for a bit, so I think we'll get towards the wrap up. But there is one question burning that needs to be asked, and it is, mate, any more wrong bias?
No wrong biases. 3 games this weekend played. No wrong biases. 3 wins.
3 rink wins.
3 rink wins. Then not throwing a wrong bias. Worked this weekend. Yeah. I done what you said.
Kept a little disc on the inside.
Absolutely.
Good luck this weekend, obviously, in Platinum. Good luck to the Mailton City crew that are playing in playoffs. If you listen to this on Thursday, we'll be up there at Singleton RSL trying to make the green grey, green and black our colours. So we'll be surrounding the green, 2 sides playing off. So it'll be exciting times. And everyone else, if you're getting down to that nitty-gritty stage of the season, all the best season playoffs and things like that there. And some of you might even be lucky enough to see us in some state finals. So, mate, anything else to sign off with?
Not really. Just I hope everyone can cheer on Taren Point and see if we can get off the bottom of the ladder and make it safe and platinum pennants for another year.
Tune in 2 weeks' time and we'll see how we're going. Don't forget, folks, indeed, keep that little disc on the inside.
And good luck in the greens. The views, information, or opinions expressed during What a Load of Bulls podcast episodes are solely those of the individuals involved and do not represent those of any group, organisation or employer associated or affiliated to individuals. This podcast is for general information purposes only, to educate and inform. This podcast does not constitute professional advice or services. What a Load of Balls does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed or statements made within episodes.